We're ready to go now. We got everything rocking and rolling and ready to go here. And at Your City, Your Voice, the camera's rolling, the recorder's rolling, the volume's up, the music's off. Now, there's a lot of things to check here. You got to check everything and make sure everything's okay before you start broadcasting. But here we are again today. Oh boy, it's a little bit chilly out there. I got my extra heavy shirt on. That's it right there. Yeah, this is a fall shirt for fall weather. I woke up this morning; it was freezing cold. Holy jeez! Yeah, I was contemplating putting the furnace on, but I didn't. I'll save it anyway. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls. The studios of 4680Q. I keep pointing over there because that's where the sign is. Although my camera doesn't catch it, you might catch the one behind me. Across from the meteor crater on Chrysler Avenue. Yeah, I come here every day live at noon, and I thank you for tuning into the show. And don't mind me, my eyes wander all over the place because I got tons of things going on here. I have that microphone, I have this microphone, I have that over there telling me whether everything's being recorded or not. Making sure the sound levels are okay. Got lots going on at one time, so I got to watch it all. Plus that right there where you are out there in video land. Make sure that goofy video doesn't stop or something goofy like that. So, yeah, don't mind me if I look around. I'm paying attention. Don't worry. Okay, so we have October the 8th. We're rolling right along in October. This is show number 398. 399 is Thursday because tomorrow is absolutely in the big 400. 400. The big 400 show is coming up on Friday. So we'll see that. Peter Dicker. I hope he can come in. Peter was here for my 100. Peter was here for my 200. Peter was here for my 300th. It's only fitting that Peter be here for the 400th show. And God willing, I'll live for 500 shows. I don't know. Who knows? You never know what's going to be handed to you. But first, I'm going to hand you my sponsors: Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, and Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. And the reason I want to hand those to you is because they're an important part of the show, right? You know that. They sponsor the show. They pay the way here. So it's fantastic that they stepped up and did that. And I am looking for another sponsor. If anybody's interested out there in Video Land or Radio Land, I am looking for another sponsor for the show. So yeah, just give me an email or Paul Lemire at kojigo.ca, or give me a message on Facebook, or give me a call, 905-353-7560, and we'll get that in. But my first sponsor, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Hey, he's offering a fantastic deal for all you guys out there, all the friends of the show for sure. And if you take your car into his shop on Oakwood Drive by the Kia dealership, he is going to make sure that he gives you a free end of summer inspection. That's right. That's what he's offering up. He's going to get you to take your car in there, and what he's going to look at: brakes, suspension, tires. He's going to give your car a computer scan to see if there's any error codes that need to be dealt with. He's going to check your fluids, your lighting. He's going to take your vehicle for a drive just in case something doesn't pick up, but you can hear some lumps or bumps, something that isn't right. What's going to happen? You're being proactive. You're going to have your car ready to go for the winter with no problems before it breaks down, and you got to stand by the side of the road with your finger up your nose, waiting for a CAA to come and cursing the day you didn't listen to me, Paul K. Lemire. You weren't proactive. So get your car in there and get it ready. Just have to give them a call down there at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. He'll be glad to hear from you and do his free end of summer inspection for you. Okay, we'll talk about my other sponsors a little bit later on in the show. Once we get rocking and rolling here, it's only 5 after 12. We have lots of time to talk about that. Now, we were talking about the weather earlier, but look at this beautiful day out there. Holy mackerel, is it ever nice. It's, I would say it's partly cloudy. It's not that warm out, maybe 60 degrees, 62 degrees. In the sun, it feels a little bit warmer, so that's a good thing. But basically, we got a nice day out there, and we have to go outside and enjoy it and sit there and watch, look around the sky, because we're lucky. We don't have Hurricane Milton bearing down on us. We're gonna have clear skies. Maybe they said there might be a little bit of rain later on today. So if it rains, it rains. Who cares? This time of year, what do you expect, right? I just hope it rains before Halloween, so the kids don't have to be out in that crappy weather. They can enjoy themselves without getting soaking wet in the miserable weather. But down in Florida, here we go again, and Milton is bearing down on Tampa right now as a Category 5, and is probably going to diminish to a Category 3 to 4 when it makes landfall tomorrow afternoon. That's Wednesday afternoon. And it's going to be a nightmare for the area. It's just they just suffered from Helen 2 weeks ago. They got clobbered by Helen, and now they're going to get it again. And this is the strongest hurricane if it does go right into Tampa, which it's forecasting now. It's going to be the strongest hurricane to hit Tampa in 100 years. And it's the fastest developing storm. Don't mind me, there's a hornet in here. I love these things. They don't bother me. If I get stung, it won't kill me. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'm not allergic to them, but that feeling of getting stung by a yellow jacket, it's not the best feeling in the world. You know what I mean? But anyway, this is the strongest storm to hit Tampa in 100 years, and the fastest developing storm ever, going from a Cat 3 to a Cat 5 in a matter of hours. This thing just built up storm like somebody was blasting energy into it and building it up to a Cat 5. So this is the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. No fooling around with this baby. I was watching the news about it, and there was a string of cars. Oh God, miles and miles and miles. You'd think it was a backup on the 401. Of people evacuating. They're getting the hell out of Dodge. And they just came back. Floridians came back to clean up their home, and now they're being told, get out. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, is trying to get all the debris cleaned up before tomorrow afternoon. He wants to get as much of the debris picked up as possible because these expected 150-mile-an-hour winds are just going to lift all the debris that they put to the side of the roads from last week, and it's going to throw it around again, and it's going to cause more damage. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's like a nightmare. And same with Tennessee and Western North Carolina and Georgia. They're all still suffering with not a lot of help coming from the government. The Biden and Harris administration are doing very little to help these people. Now, what I'm thinking about, and a lot of people forget about when we have a disaster like this approaching, is the animals. There are a million of animals that are going to be displaced by the storm, including gators, crocs, manatees, snakes, and panthers. That's just mentioning a few of them. There's hundreds. They're going to have to all be accounted for and returned to their habitats when this is all over, because I'm sure animals are smart. They don't monkey around with this stuff. They either hunker down in a cave or something. And you go to Florida, there's not a lot of caves. I mean, that's pretty well swampland. And the only other choice is to move inland and get the hell out of the way of the oncoming storm and shelter down in some bushes or trees or something. But Carolina, or not Carolina, but Florida, it's a pretty flat and there's not a lot of trees. It's a pretty swampy area, the whole peninsula. So the zoos are, they can evacuate those animals. They'll cage them all up and get them the hell out of there, or give them some kind of shelter anyway. But animal shelters and wild animals that are out there, they're going to have to get these guys all wrapped up, and the wild ones just run around until they can get put back into the swamp they came from or wherever. It's going to be crazy, and there's lots of them going to be hanging around. Nobody thinks about the animals, but they're there too, and they're going to be going through this as much as the human beings. So that's something to consider too. You come home and there's a panther in your house. Anyway, it's a big mess down there. We're gonna wait and see what happens and tomorrow, and they're gonna get blasted again. Regardless, they're getting blasted. It's just a matter of how bad now. It's not a matter of where or when. It's going to be probably in Tampa, in the Tampa area. Canadian model drags it a little bit south, but there's a front coming down from the north that pushes on it. So if it pushes on it a lot, it might go a little bit south. If it doesn't, then it's going to go into Tampa. And what a mess. Give our prayers for our Florida friends. Be safe, but I know it's not easy with this thing bearing down on you. Hey, what's going on? The NHL starts tonight. That's right. You Boston Bruins fans out there, and I know a lot of them, they're going to be watching their first game, maybe. And why do I say that? Well, they're playing in Florida. They're playing against the Florida Panthers in Sunrise, Florida. They should be okay. It's on the East Coast by Lauderdale. And they're still 24 hours away from the storm, so they should get the game in tonight and fly right out and be able to escape the oncoming fury of a Hurricane Milton. So I would say they're going to play tonight. I don't see it being canceled, but it starts tonight. There's a few games tonight. Boston being the one that I would watch if I was going to watch it. And we'll talk about all that tomorrow on Habsolutely, the All Habs All show I do on Wednesdays at noon, and talk a little bit about the schedules coming up and what we think about the Habs. But tonight it starts. Finally, there's something good on TV. Now, back in the Falls here. Let's get back into Niagara Falls. I saw a story by Ray Spiteri of the Review about cameras at Oaks Park washrooms. And I might have mentioned this about a week or so ago on the show when my buddy Gary Wilkins told me of an incident he witnessed at the park where some adult male was going in the women's bathroom. Now, I'm not sure if Gary confronted the guy or not, but he sure did let police know about this guy hovering around the bathrooms and going into the women's washroom. And they came and picked the guy up. I don't think he was, I think he was an offshore person. So as a follow-up, Gary also let Counselor Patel know what happened and suggested that cameras be installed because of the large number of unknown people wandering around the city these days. So Councilor Patel brought it up at City Council last meeting, and I think they decided they're going to put cameras at the park. And that's a good thing, you know. There's so many people wandering around this city now, way too many wackos. And we don't know where they're from or what the hell they're doing, and we don't know what they're up to. But a lot of them are offshore people. They live their lives by different rules. We know that. Who knows what they are and what they're up to? So we have to protect ourselves against these people wandering around. Whether they know the rules or not, I don't care. If they go into the woman's washroom and they're a man, then they got to be told to leave, never go back there. And if they try something, and you never know, then they're on camera anyway, and they could be roasted. And I personally thank Gary for that. Of course, everybody in the city thanks Gary, but more, I was surprised they didn't already have cameras. I mean, public washrooms in a public place, anybody going in and out. You got people wandering around that park all the time because, you know, people run and walk on the track. You have baseball games there. It's a pretty open park. I mean, anybody can go in there. So I'm really, really surprised they didn't have cameras there already, but they do now. Mayor Jim says they're cheap and they work good. So let's get them up. And you got to protect the people that go there, the women and the children. I mean, you know, from these people who would do them harm. And we saw what happens just walking through a park with your two dogs taking a walk. What can happen? Yeah, things do happen and they will happen. So let's protect ourselves. Just too many people wandering the streets and we don't know who they are or where they're from. And, you know, it's always been a problem in a tourist town, but it's getting worse now. And we have to do something to protect everybody. Good for Gary being aware and reporting the incident. Good for Councillor Patel for bringing the matter up at City Council like she was asked to. And good for the city for making the right decision and putting cameras in here. And I'm sure they'll work fine. And it may prevent something more serious from coming down the tube at some point in the future. So, and my suggestion is spend the money and do it at all public parks with public bathrooms in areas where people wander around and there could be trouble. That's one way to do it. And post it. Please post that there are surveillance cameras. Let people know that we're watching you. Now, I know people can say, what's Big Brother watching you? Another place where they're going to put cameras in that. But you know what? At the end of the day, we got to protect people. And you can't, the police can't be there all the time. You can't depend on a good Samaritan to go up and hassle with somebody. If I was packing a pistol, yeah, if somebody's bothering somebody else, I'd walk up and I would say cease and desist. But I'm not doing it by myself. I get my ass kicked. And I don't feel like having an ass kicking at my age. So until they let us conceal carry or even open carry, we have to call the police, hope they get there in time. But you know what? Police get there after the crime has happened. That's usually what happens. So, yeah, we need open carry. Let's face it, that solves a lot of these problems. People don't monkey around when there's people around with guns. That's all there is to it. And I know, you're going to tell me now we're going to get the gun lobby out here, telling me about guns and how guns kill people and they got to ban guns. You know what? Guns have never killed anybody. You can leave a pistol on a table for 10 years and it won't shoot, won't kill anybody. Humans are the ones who do it. Right? What they say, God created man, Smith and Wesson made them equal. Yeah. Okay. So over to St. Catharines for a minute. And this was a great story. I really like this. How do you make a vital and vibrant downtown? Well, you do the opposite of what Niagara Falls does. That's what you do. So for 40 years we've been trying, maybe more, been trying to revitalize downtown. It's never worked. Nothing's been done right. But down in St. Catharines, over in St. Catharines, they brought in a few big anchors and let it rip. In downtown St. Catharines, they understand it. The council over there understands how to build their downtown. They built the $50 million Meridian Center right smack in the middle of the downtown area. And for the last 10 years, the center's not only housed the Junior A Niagara Ice Dogs, which we should have had in Niagara Falls. Unfortunately, just can't get it right in this city. It's housed concerts and other events that have drawn thousands upon thousands of Niagara area residents to the downtown core, which is beautiful. It's one of the driving forces in the downtown resurgence, along with the First Ontario Performing Arts Center. And downtown St. Catharines has become one of the region's top entertainment destinations. Well, isn't that nice? Oh, yeah, you can say Niagara Falls is too. Sure, you can, because we've got a 5,000 seat, I don't even know what it's called, by the casino there, the arts, the theater, or whatever. I don't even know what the name of it is. Does anybody know? I don't know. Leave it in the comments on the video if you do. But I don't even know what that's called. Niagara Falls Performing Arts? No, I don't think so. I don't even know. Something. Got a name. But it's not just the Ice Dogs that are home to this arena. It's the home of the Niagara River Lions as well, the basketball team. It has marked the Tragically Hip's first concert ever in Niagara in 2015, along with a surprising tour stop for Elton John in 2017 in St. Catharines. Among other celebrities that showed up in downtown St. Catharines, Jerry Seinfeld, psychic medium Teresa Caputo, John Mellencamp, Ice Cube, the Arkells, the Doobie Brothers, believe it or not, the Doobie Brothers, and Jelly Roll. I saw a story. He fell down last night or something, was gimping around, the poor guy. It's a lot of weight to drop, and he was gimping around on stage. I don't know how he made out. Hope he's all right. Everybody likes Jelly Roll. The arena has also become a regular stop for the Harlem Globetrotters and touring Cirque du Soleil shows. Now, in the sports world, the arena hosted the 2020 Tournament of Hearts Curling Tournament, the 2016 International Ice Hockey Federation Women's World Championships, and the FIBE, the International Basketball Federation Under 18 America's Championship. The economic impact of putting that arena downtown has been huge. It revitalized the downtown core. I mean, if you go to St. Paul Street, it's jam packed all the time with people and people going out to eat. And there's custom brew houses there, bars. There's entertainment. There's the ice dog games. And the businesses down in St. Catharines on St. Paul aren't just surviving; they're thriving because of this great move City Council made. Compare that to downtown Niagara Falls, where they put the arena outside of the downtown area. They put the $17 million exchange out of the downtown area. And they put the entertainment venue in the tourist area. How do you expect our downtown to draw anybody to thrive if they refuse to put a draw downtown? So what do we get? Well, we get a lot of lip service. We hear a lot of talk about getting downtown going again, but we don't see a lot of things that would actually help it. The only thing we have down here now is some diploma mill that really is claiming to bring people downtown, but it has yet to evolve into anything serious. We don't see any new buildings. We don't see any fixer-uppers. We don't see any construction. We see nothing. And when I drive by there, I don't see many students. I don't see many students. And it's not like we don't have the room downtown, right? We have lots of room down here. You look around, there's vacant lots, vacant buildings. There's all kinds of room down here to do stuff. But nobody does anything. I mean, really, our downtown, when people come to town, what they think is that the tourist area, Clifton Hill or Fallsview, that's our downtown. And they receive most of the benefits. So I'm surprised the Gale Center didn't go somewhere in the tourist area too. But you know what? This is what we get. This is what we get. Come on downtown, look around, see what you got here. This is what you get. And you have to have councils that have foresight and really want to do it. I mean, something could have been put down here, down in this area, and they'll tell you, oh yeah, the Gale Center's downtown. No, it ain't. It ain't downtown. It's not close to downtown. Not close enough to have an effect on downtown anyway. Probably better for Stanford Center with all the restaurants out there. That people go out that way or go down to the tourist areas when they get here to see the falls and that. But they don't come downtown. We need a draw down here. Something, an entertainment center. Well, I mean, now we got that one over the casino. That won't work. We put our exchange, which could have been down here with the farmers market. That could have been downtown. Right across the street here. That's the old farmers market. Buy a couple houses, build the exchange across the street. It could have been a big complex. Yeah, I mean, so it could have been done. But, I don't think anybody's serious about downtown from what I've seen over the last 40 years. But congratulations to City Council in St. Catharines. They seem to be doing it right, and the results are their judge, a thriving, vibrant downtown for all St. Catharines residents to enjoy. Good for them. Good for them. Word to my second sponsor, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. This time of year is when you start looking through your lights and getting out the orange ones for Halloween and separating the red and green ones for Christmas. Festival of Lights start in November. A lot of people get their lights up by then, so they can participate in the Niagara Falls Festival of Lights. So you start thinking about lights. Now, if you're sick and tired of climbing ladders and stringing those lights and taking them down after Halloween and putting up the red and green ones and everything else that goes along with decorating your house nice for the Christmas season, you may consider Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, the leaders in permanent outdoor lighting. That's right. They come to your house. They measure everything up, give you a free quote. Colin Buckborough will come. He's the guy who owns it. Give you a free quote, and if you like what he has to say, you can put up these permanent outdoor track lighting built in zones so you can control the colors in each zone: red, green, all orange for Halloween, all green for St. Patrick's Day. No matter what day you celebrate, you can make your house go by that. Pink for breast cancer awareness. You can do whatever you want. A million different colors, all controlled from your phone, all done in zones. So you can have different colors in each zone, or the same color for that matter. When you put it on just your plain white lights, regular lights, it lights up your pathways, it lights up your walkways, it makes your house safe. All LED lights, very, very energy conscious. They don't consume a lot of energy. And every joint is sealed. It's not like your plugs on your Christmas lights, you're plugging them in, them strings and thing hanging off. No, they're all tucked away, soldered together. And there goes the buzzard in the official Dipper pace car. Yeah, they solder them all together, do all that, put them all together, and then it makes them impervious to dust and moisture, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's fantastic, actually. A great product. Looks nice, and if you really want to Griswold your house, I mean, really do it up big. Guess what? They have financing on approved credit, so you can also do that. How do you get Colin over there to get you a quote? Well, you just dial 289-969-1797, 289-969-1797. Call in Buckborough, and tell him Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. My advice, call him now. This time of year, they get really busy because old geezers like me don't want to be climbing ladders. And what are they doing? They're dialing 289-969-1797 and saying, Colin, come on over and give me a quote. I don't feel like doing this crap anymore with these lights. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you, and thank you for supporting our sponsors. Very important to the show. Very important to the show. Okay, here we go. Let's go over to Welland. The NDP's on the election trail, so they must know something we don't. And they're making promises all over the place. Of course, their promises never come with money. They expect you to pay for it. Yeah. Someone else has to pay, and there's no one else except the taxpayers, which is you and me and the guy across the street walking down the street there. It's me and you, Mr. and Mrs. Taxpayer, or Ms., or whatever you're called. They're not promising to build a new full-service hospital in Welland and return the services to Fort Erie and Port Colborne. That's great. Merritt Stiles, hey, she knows how to talk. She knows how to talk, but let me ask you, Merritt, where are you getting the money? Has anyone seen how long it takes to build a new hospital? I'll be dead by the time the next one comes up. I mean, ours is going to be open in 2008. It took us about 20 years to get it. Lincoln, Welland, there went Lincoln, town of Lincoln, their hospital took 14 years to get. So yeah, she's down there promising, but even if she got in power, it'd be for 4 years, and then she'd be out because she screwed things up so bad they never reelect her. We know that. NDP, indeed. And the expense. Where are they getting the money from? This hospital's going to cost $1 billion or some crazy number. They're going to go build one in Welland, full service hospital. Yeah, I don't know where she's going to get the money. Ontario's broke. Did anyone see the picture of Stiles with the NDP guy from Welland? Was it on the review page online? Did you see the guy? Jeff Birch? This guy is a dead ringer for Tampa Tim Walz. Holy crap, he could be a stand-in. Tim Walz ever can't make it to something, they should call this guy from Welland and bring him down. I looked at it and I go, what's Merritt Stiles doing with Tim Walz? But it wasn't him, it was this Jeff Birch guy. He could play this guy easy. So all this NDP crap plays Welland. Welland's a big NDP stronghold. It's been since the days of Peter Cormos, if you remember him. He was the NDP guy when NDP wasn't even NDP. It was, I don't even know what it was before that, but he was the NDP guy in Welland, elected all the time. He was just the guy you just know he's running against him because you're not going to win until he finally passed away. And this plays well to the crowd there. Of course, NDP there giving their free money away. In Niagara lately has been an NDP stronghold as well. I mean, we have the Frito Bandito running the show here, and but that's why we don't get anything. It's hard to get anything done here when you're electing a person who has no power whatsoever. I mean, they're the third party. Well, maybe they might be the second party in Ontario. Who knows? But they have no say. Ford's got the majority, and these guys are up in the nosebleeds and hanging on for their pensions. Basically, that's why they're there. We never learn around here, do we? We always have the opposite of what's running the province, and we get nothing. And I thank God Jim Diodati, our mayor, has a good rapport with Ford, because if he didn't, we'd even be worse off. Well, what's that guy riding? He's riding on a scooter. Okay. Yeah. So these plans that Merritt Stiles has are in stark contrast to the conservative plan to close both hospitals once the new Niagara South is built. That's ours. Niagara Health does want to build a new hospital in Welland, but limit it to emergency and outpatient services. A far cry from the NDP promised facility. Of course, what Stiles and the NDP are promising would be very welcome. Healthcare has become an unmanageable um, monster in Ontario, so the more centers, the better. But you still have to have staffing. Where are you going to get the staff for these hospitals she wants to build? You still have to have funding, right? I mean, you can talk about it all you want, but you have to come up with the money for it. And also, it's going to be a long time coming. It's just not going to happen overnight. So they can make these promises. We'll see if they come to fruition. Probably not. Personally, I doubt the NDP will form the next Ontario government, so making promises is fine, easy to do. But if they do get elected, writing the checks for their promises may prove to be impossible. Thanks to Alan Benner, reporter with the St. Catharines Standard, for the great article. You want to read it, just go to the review.ca and get in there and read these articles. That's what I do. People think for some reason I'm a reporter. I'm not a reporter. I'm a commentator. I read the stories and give you my opinions on them. Comment on them. I'm a commentator. That's what I am. So people yell at me like I'm a reporter. So I'm not I'm a commentator. I give you my opinion. Comment on different stories. Oh God, this guy just blew a big snot out on the ground there. You had a big sneeze. Ooh, glad I wasn't out there. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I'm not a commentator. I'll leave that to, or I'm a commentator. I'll leave the reporting to Johnny Law and Ray Spiteri and Allison Langley and Alan Benner and Tony Rizzuto, who's a little bit more active on Facebook now. He's not a reporter anymore, but he does report on a lot of stuff. He's a good guy. So yeah, so I have no problem with that. I have no problem being a commentator, but don't accuse me of being a reporter. I don't go up there and report the news. Okay, so what do we got here? I always start laughing when I talk about these two nitwits. The Kamala and Tim roadshow is getting even goofier. Kamala has orders to start appearing more often on talk shows. Get out there in the circuit and make more appearances, like after Tim Walz's terrible, terrible performance at the debate against JD Vance. They're blaming it on Waltz and Harris not getting out there and doing enough pressers and interviews, so they're lost when they get into a situation like that. So they began a big media blitz now. And she's not going to one good news source, like one good news place that actually does good interviews and reports the news right. Who's she going to see? Well, she went to see 60 Minutes and they ruined her. It was a total disaster. She was lost and scared, and the interviewer just raked her over the coals. Not because he was trying to do that, He was just asking questions with good follow up questions. He didn't accept her, what are you going to do with the economy? Her thing saying, I grew up in a middle class neighborhood and I saw nice lawns. People cut their lawns. He said, no, that wasn't the question. We asked you about the economy. What are you going to do? And then she went on some nonsense word salad. And he said, no, that wasn't the question. He really took care of her. So after she got over that, she went on a show called, and I've never heard of the show before, by the way, and I'm sure they never heard of my show, so we're even. Call Her Daddy. I don't know. It's a sex-related talk show, and it's kind of a joke. I mean, serious news talk shows and stuff. Don't they just disregard this as a social media nonsense thing? It's where they talk about how I'm going to tell you it straight what they were talking about. How a guy's balls hang in the morning when he gets up. That's what their discussion was. I kid you not. This is the show she went on to talk about the president of the United States, her platform. Please, seriously, folks, seriously. I don't even want to talk about that. But anyway, even on that softball show, she had a hard time landing, apparently, not knowing the difference between a tax credit and actually handing some small business owner $50,000. She don't know the difference. She's clueless. Next up for Kamala, more useless shows like Colbert, The View, and Howard Stern. Are you kidding me? These are the serious interviews she's doing on the road to being president. Well, it's her party. It's her party. Let her run her party the way she wants. But at the end of the day, I mean, these aren't serious interviews. If she got the Howard Stern and he was the old Howard Stern, he'd be asking her about her husband banging the nanny and what happened to the kid, and the other one was slapping the other woman on the street in front of everybody, and he'd be asking all those questions. But Howard Stern is not the old Howard Stern we used to know. He's a fluff guy now, and he's just stupid. But she's got a lot on her plate, and it's not doing a thing to address the issues: Ukraine and Russia, Iran and Israel, the double hit by Florida, 2 hurricanes in 2 weeks. FEMA's down; they're not doing anything. She offered them $750 a piece, while she's given 9 or 10 billion to Ukraine. It's just ridiculous. Biden's out of the picture, and I heard he's headed to Africa for some reason. And while America burns, and what does Kamala do? Call her daddy, Colbert, Howard Stern, and The View. I mean, seriously. With Joe Biden in hiding, she thinks she's free of him in his 4 years, but not so fast, Kamala. Biden keeps showing up and brings her back in. Every time I try to get out, they fall me back in. She can't shake the ghost of Biden in the failed presidency of which she played a major part. That's what's happening with her now. Just watch these interviews; they're just ridiculous, and you wonder why people are starting to not take her seriously. I mean, no business person can take her seriously. And we'll talk a little bit more about world events a bit later on in the show here in the last 20 minutes. And we'll see what other people are doing when they have to face Kamala shaking in their boots. I'd rather send Kamala Harris, the real Kamala Harris, over, the Ugandan giant. Was king of the WWE for a long time. Yeah, Kamala. Over to the Trump train. Nothing really big is going on with him. He's doing the interviews every day, 2 a day sometimes. Crisscrossing the country, taking on the hard questions, rallying thousands of people. His return to Butler was truly amazing. I don't know if anybody watched that. Probably a lot of people in Canada have TDS, so they don't watch Trump and they hate him. But I do. And it was fantastic. That meeting when he went back to Butler where he got shot was just unfriggin' believable. You had to watch it. I talked about it on my show the other day, so I'm not going to go into it. But it was more like a pilgrimage. than it was actually a political rally. I mean, things unbelievable. And I know. Trump is brash. He's a storyteller. He does not play politics the way polished career politicians do. He may exaggerate things. He does all that stuff. But you got to remember, Trump is not a politician. He says stupid things. He rubs some people the wrong way, but his record in his first term is clear and concise, easy to understand, did right by America and Americans. Trump could be leading the easy life of a billionaire instead of being shot at twice. Yet here he is. And I get it. I get it with people who don't like Trump. But you really do have to put the person aside and look at the record and what he did was 4 years in office compared to what the last 4 years have been, the nightmare they've been, and judge it by that. And, people keep bringing up he's a convicted felon and this and that from 20 or 30 years ago, what he did. I mean, a lot of this stuff, I just look at it and go, hey, a billionaire playboy, what do you expect the guy to do? Seriously. There's people with a lot less money than him who have nothing who are doing things that he does or did. I mean, billionaire playboy, this is the crowd he hangs around. These are the fast and loose rules he plays by. He's not a politician. He's not polished. He's not going to go up there and give you some recorded audio. No, he's going to go up there and tell you what he thinks. That's the way he does it. I mean, if you don't like honesty and that kind of thing, and he's going to do what he has to do to get the deal done, and that's it. Right? It's just the way it is with him. And if you don't like that, then of course you're going to hate Trump. Elon Musk is by his side. I mean, Elon Musk was at this rally right there. Another billionaire that doesn't have to be in the limelight, but he's decided the future of America rests with the Trump victory. So he's up there talking for Trump. So there you go. Elon Musk, considered one of those brilliant people, understands where Trump's coming from and what he's done for the country, what he's going to do for the country, and he's right there with them. What can I tell you? If you don't like Trump, don't like him. People keep bringing stuff up, and I just look at him and say, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, even big business people, a lot of big business people don't like Trump. But you know what? They're going to vote for him because Trump is good for America. Trump is good for business. Trump will stop the stupid wars going on. That's what he's going to do. That's what they want. War is bad for business, except for a small few who run the military-industrial complex that runs wars, plays both sides against the middle with this kind of stuff, right? So yeah, so there you go. Now let's take a jump. I said I was going to move around a little bit. Let's take a jump over to North Korea. Having to worry about the Middle East, and the Ukraine is not enough. The little rocket man has issued a final warning to NATO, saying it will face tragic consequences if the alliance continues to condemn its friendly relationship with Russia. Woo! The little rocket man's getting riled up over there in North Korea. Oh, yeah. He's not one to be quiet neither. He likes to talk. He likes to talk a big game. We're talking North Korea, so he talks a big game, but, these paper tigers. And I'm going to get into this in a second, right? But I want to talk about my third sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Now, I'm a pizza snob. Anybody who knows me knows that I take my pizza seriously. And I wouldn't be telling you about Pete's Pizza if it was crap. I wouldn't. And I said that to the owner, Mike, a great guy. He worked in an Italian restaurant for 15 years. I told him, Mike, I've got to like your pizza. I can't. I won't sponsor. I won't talk for you. I won't let you sponsor the show. I told him, right? Because I can't push something that I don't like. So I went in there incognito, dressed as Liz. No, Liz went in. I never go into these places when I do a restaurant review. I never go in and everything. I send Liz because she can get it and then I can review it honestly. I don't want freebies. I want to pay and I want to be able to review stuff honestly. But Pete's Pizza is really good. I talked to Mike, and he was telling me that he uses the old Mancini family recipe, which the pizza was started 40 years ago by the Mancini family. Reno Mancini is the guy that I know from the family that ran the one on Ontario Street in St. Catharines. And they use their recipes for the dough, which is fantastic, and the sauce, which is fantastic. Now, Mike, he knows how to take the sauce and the cheese and mix them in the right ratio on the pizza. They put it on the pizza in the right ratio. And he told me he uses Saputo, the really good mozzarella from Saputo, and he mixes it with brick cheese, which is what most good pizzerias do. They mix brick cheese in. It gives it that stretch. Now, if you go to the States, it's a different story. They have the good buffalo mozzarella you can get over there. You can't get that in Canada. Brick cheese mixed in there makes it perfect. He also uses fresh ingredients when he makes his pizza, and they come out really well. I usually get the Canadian mushrooms, pepperoni, crumbled bacon, well done, just beautiful. And out of the fridge the next day, tested passes with flying colors. I love it. But they're not just a one pony show over there. A one horse show. They have subs. They have poutine. They have panzerotti. They have fries and all the other stuff that you would usually get at a takeout restaurant. And they have weekly specials and combos. Yeah, you want a combo, wings and pizza? They have that. Now, here's something really good. For their 40th anniversary this year, to the end of the year, they're offering 2 medium pizzas with 3 toppings on each for $25. Pretty darn good deal, if you ask me. So give them a call. 905-374-2222. You can order at that number. Or you can just go to pizzavictoriaavenue.ca. And Mike decided that he's going to take care of you guys. He's going to open his doors till midnight from Sunday to Thursday. And on Friday and Saturday, he's going to open the doors till 2 a.m. So after you come back from the brew house or from doing whatever you do with the other stuff, you got the munchies, Mike's open for you. Give him a call. Get down there. Victoria Avenue Pizza. Go grab a pizza today. Your pizza awaits you. And now I'm thinking myself, my pizza awaits me too. Okie dokie. That's our third sponsor. Support our sponsors. They support us. Thank you very much. So, back to North Korea and the little rocket man. A spokesperson from the North Korean Foreign Ministry stated that the country would take all necessary measures to minimize the threat posed by the U.S. and NATO, of course, and expressed North Korea's regret over NATO's continued support for the Ukraine. They don't like that, the rocket man. That spokesperson also accused NATO of expanding its influence over the Korean Peninsula and into Asia. Yeah, he's upset. And I'll quote it. If NATO continues to try hard to infringe upon the dignity, sovereignty, security, and interest of DPRK, that's the North Korean government, while persistently pursuing hostile policy towards it, NATO blindly following the U.S. will be held wholly responsible for the tragic consequences to be entailed by the DPRK. So, in other words, you quit monkeying around and we're going to blow the hell out of you. According to the New York Times, North Korea had reportedly been shipping missiles to Russia. Russia is now running low after more than 2 years of fighting. We also know Iran sends weapons to Russia. The axis of evil, right? Iran, Russia, China, and North Korea. Yep, he's going to nuke. He's going to nuke the U.S. He said it. There's no fooling around. Quit fooling around. We're serious about this. Well, you know what? How serious do we take these saber-rattling tin pot dictators? Not too serious. Kim Jong-un has come right out and said he's going to nuke the U.S. before the election if they don't quit antagonizing North Korea. He isn't one to mince words, even though he knows that would be the end of North Korea and him. Altogether would be like one smoldering parking lot. Maybe Kamala can take a trip and talk to the little rocket man. See if she can convince him to calm down. If not, maybe his hero Dennis Rodman can be enlisted to go over there. But Little Rocket Man better get his licks in while he can, because once Trump returns to office, the games are over. Yeah, you won't be hearing much from him once Trump gets in. Oh, back and now over to Israel. Let's get over to Israel. Did I miss my bottom line here? No, that's it, right? Oh yeah, we're the Middle East. Let's get over to the Middle East while we got a chance here. End off the show. Talk about that for a second. Big things going on there all the time. The bombing of Beirut continues, and Israel looks to eliminate more leaders. That's what they're trying to do here. Their intelligence is telling them where the leaders are, and they're trying to wipe them all out. Now there's somebody dumping a bunch of crap in Joe's bin. He won't be happy about that. He's looking around to see if anybody saw him. I love these guys. But Hezbollah is returning the bombs with their own into Israel. The ground offensive has begun, but the real attack that is looming is Israel's response to the shelling of their land last week by Iran. That response, though, is hovering on the horizon, just waiting for the right time to strike. And it's going to be a time of their choosing, says the Israeli Defense League spokesperson. And I think we know that Israel is going to launch a significant retaliatory strike against Iran. And I would think it will target missile sites, military sites, and oil installations to cut off the money supply and the chance to retaliate. That would be my estimation. Nobody said what they're going to attack. I don't know. But I'm just telling you what I think would be something they would want to get rid of: military installations, missile launching sites, and of course, nuclear reactors, of course, any of their nuclear stuff. Oh, the guy wasn't satisfied. He's got 2 more boxes to throw in there. Yeah, so who knows what's going on with them? But I would say that's what they would look to cut off first, right? Cut off their funding by getting rid of the oil, cut off their nuclear capability by hitting military installations and rocket launching sites. There are additional reports that Israel will also strike Syria. So that's news. Apparently, they've been causing trouble too. I haven't heard anything about that, and I never heard anything about Israel stepping into there, but I did read a report on it. They said they're going to use weapons made in Iran that were reportedly intended to go to Hezbollah that Israel has acquired. Interesting. Israel has also struck a port in Yemen, reportedly used by the Houthi rebels. So, if you get the picture, Israel's surrounded. To the north, Hezbollah. To the east, Hamas. To the south, the Houthis. And to the sorry, I'm getting my directions wrong. North is Hezbollah, west is Hamas, south is the Houthis, and east, of course, is Iran. So they're surrounded, and they're fighting on all fronts right now, really. Of course, Iran has warned a retaliatory strike by Israel would elicit violent assaults as Hamas launched strikes on Israel on the 1-year anniversary of the raid that started it all. If we remember, yesterday was the day it all started, and today's the day that Hezbollah started lobbing rockets into Israel. And that's what started this whole pain in the neck war over there, and it's continued on for a year now. I mean, everybody's waiting for someone, usually it's the U.S., to step up and stop the killing. But there's nobody in power in the U.S. that can do that right now. The big powers in the world want a war. The military-industrial complex says it's so. Unless somebody steps up, they're going to get their WW3 they've been pushing for. And we haven't seen anybody step up yet. It's been just one after the other. The U.S. is kind of useless. They're funding both sides, sending money to Israel and sending stuff to the Palestinians, which Hamas is taking and using, whether it's money or food or anything. I mean, so it's really, really crazy. It's really crazy. Now, Kamala, relegated to the lefty talk show circuit, has said she will not have bilateral talks with Vladimir Putin to negotiate an end to Russia's war against the Ukraine. She ruled out any talks in a peace process that does not include Ukraine. She asserts that Ukraine must have a say in the future of the Ukraine. Now, according to the UN Charter and stuff, she's correct. She is correct about that. But here's my thing, and this is all me. Someone has to get the peace talks going. And a bilateral talk with Russia wouldn't hurt anything, right? It wouldn't hurt a thing. Obviously, she can't talk for the Ukraine. But what harm would listening to Putin do? No decisions will or can be made by her or the US, but it has to be made somewhere at some time. And to me, the important thing is getting these talks going, making the possibility of the three of them getting together and hammering out some kind of a deal. There's got to be a start to it, somewhere to start. It's not going to start by itself. They're going to keep on fighting. So somebody has to be in there, and somebody's got to start the process. And whether it's bilateral with either what's his name, Valinsky or Kalinsky, whatever his name is, the billionaire guy, or Putin, right? It doesn't matter. Somebody's got to start it, and this is the time that it has to be started. Everybody has to remember this isn't the U.S.'s war. They're not fighting the Ukraine, the U.S. They're not fighting Putin right now anyway. It's Ukraine versus Russia. And they aren't going to settle anything if left to their own goods. I mean, if they just leave them alone and say, you settle it, they're never going to do it. Especially when they're dropping millions and billions of dollars, like 120 billion to the Ukraine so far, and giving them weapons, giving them missiles. It's never going to end. Somebody has to get in there and deal with this and try to stop it. And if it's not Kamala, it can't be Biden. He's not capable. It doesn't look like it can be Kamala either because she's not capable. I don't think she could negotiate something this serious. So, who is it? You tell me. I know who it is. I know who it is. I know the only guy who can probably do it. I mean, y'all hate him maybe, but I know the guy who can do it. And nobody wants to admit it, but it will be done after November 5th. After Election Day, it will be done. Now, if Kamala gets elected, I don't know. You might you may have to start building bomb shelters of your own. Who knows? Anyway, that's about it for today. Thank you for listening in. We'll see you tomorrow with Absolutely, Thursday with Straight Talk Thursday and Friday. My 400th show will probably be with Peter Dichter in the studio here, just doing our thing. Everything we usually do on a Finally Friday. Anyway, support our sponsors. Please support our sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, and Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. And I thank you for doing that. I thank you for supporting our sponsors. Of course, my name is Paul K. Lemire. Of course, this is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680 Q Radio, downtown Niagara Falls, Chrysler Avenue, across from the Meteor Crater, here daily. Well, actually, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Friday are Your City, Your Voice, right here at noon all the time. And of course, Wednesday is Absolutely. You can catch us live on 4680q.com, the radio, or catch the YouTube channel with the video later on this afternoon. I usually get them on by 4 o'clock or so. If you do watch the video, please subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends to subscribe. I want to hit 100 subscribers. I'm at 60. It's not that far to go. Let's get to 100. And I also want you to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't like the show. Thumbs down, but leave a comment too. Leave a comment if you know answers to questions that I missed. Leave a comment. If you have a comment on my show, leave a comment. If you have a bone to pick with me from what I said, leave a comment. I'll talk about them on another show, and we'll hash it out. We'll hash it out. I love that. I love when comments are a thing. I reply to every comment that I see. I try to anyway. and I love it. So thank you very much for listening. We'll see you tomorrow with Absolutely. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy this weather before it gets really, really bad out. Ciao, ciao.